Okay, I figured out my key to success, now I'm locked in. I learned how to open doors like a locksmith. I'm uptown, I'm the one they wanna shop with. Run off with the bag even though we don't shoplift. All that gun talk y'all want, I'm not with. It's not cool, everybody got them long clips. You gon' mess around and get one of your dogs hit. And when you do, I hope you know you're not John Wick.
What up? Welcome back. Appreciate you locking in with us.
We're back.
Yeah, it's been a minute. We're live. I don't even know when the last time we did an episode was.
I don't either, man. It's been 1 minute. I've been out of town a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
so
I've
I know it was
working.
before Memorial Day. Yeah.
Is that when you went to Disney?
Yeah. So
Okay,
it was the week before that.
Yeah. So
Yep.
it's been, what, 2?
It's been a month, roughly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, dude. Time's been flying, man. So, yeah, there's been a lot of things that have happened in the MMA world since we last spoke. But we're going to talk about the most recent, and mainly because it's a guy that we've seen a lot at regional fights before he made it to the UFC. That would be Malcom Wellmaker. You know, I keep wanting to call him Waymaker. I don't know why.
The Waymaker.
Yeah. But you know, got into the UFC through the Contender Series with a stunning knockout.
Yeah.
I believe that was that a right hook, right or left hook, one of the two.
Yeah, I think it was a left hook.
Had his first actual fight in the UFC like just a couple months ago.
And that was a little on short notice. It was like 2 or 3 weeks notice or something like that.
Yes, and you know, knocked the guy out.
Yeah.
First round.
So that guy, he re-signed back with the UFC. He got cut from the UFC.
Someone the one he just fought,
Yeah,
Chris
yeah.
Moutinho.
Yeah.
Well, that was the guy who's like known for taking a beating from Sean O'Malley, and Sean couldn't finish him.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. He took that fight on short notice.
Yeah.
Against Sean O'Malley and just kept coming.
Yep. And
then that's not always like got cut.
Won 5 in a row.
Yeah.
And then came back against Malcom, and I think this time Malcom took it on short notice.
Yes.
And
he had already had somebody on that he was supposed to be fighting, and something happened.
Who, Chris?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think it was basically the same thing that happened to Malcom his fight before when he took the fight on short notice.
Yeah.
But Chris just obviously known for having that chin against Sean O'Malley. And I hadn't seen any of his fights since he got cut and came back. But you know, we were just talking about how Malcom knocked him out. And, you know, he was throwing a lot of leg kicks at first and threw some up the middle. And then what'd you say you call that move?
So we call it pick it up, put it down. So it's like you'd show it like they're about to kick, and then you throw the same side hand from that. Yeah.
And just smoked his boots with it,
him.
dude.
Yeah.
And
So after
put
you
him out.
So that's tactics. That's having a game plan. That's all right. Hey, it's probably watching film, seeing what he does with his left hand when you throw a right kick. You know, he tries to grab the left foot or something like that. You know, so you just, you know, and I think Malcom was saying it in one of his post-fight interviews that he was doing. I think a press conference or something. He was like, if he wanted to play that game, we knew he was going to play the game or something like that. And so, and that's what it is. You get him biting off of that right kick, and then you show it, then boom, hammer it.
And man, what a shot! I mean, it was clean.
Yeah,
and put him out.
Yeah, and it made him famous, man. It's made that move famous now, and so it's like I just told Josh. I did mitt work with Josh on Monday, and Josh Cook. He's like one of the top amateur 135 pounders in the nation. You know, I'm talking top. He was number 2 at one point, and so because he hasn't fought in like a year, you know, he's making his pro debut in August in Virginia. So with the same promotion that he went amateur with.
Right on.
So him and Malcom Wellmaker are both from the same management company as well, Iridium, and so it's kind of wild, you know. It's like that move. I've been working with Josh for a while. It's a lot of the same. They have a lot of the same similarities. Obviously, Malcolm's really athletic. He's really good. He's jacked.
He's big for a 135er. Yeah. And he's kind of, I want to say he's a little tall. Like,
I mean, he's you know, he's probably 5'8", 5'9".
Really?
Yeah.
I thought he was taller than me.
No, I don't think so.
How tall are you?
5'11".
Yeah, and I'm just, I think I'm like 5'9", 5'10".
Yeah, he's probably your size.
Oh. Well, definitely more athletic than me.
Blue collar worker guy too, man. It was like he was like a pipe fitter or something.
Yeah,
like
he was
that.
a welder. But after his last fight, when he got the bonus, he quit.
Yeah,
He did
and
like a
then he
whole
just got
video.
another bonus, bro.
Yeah.
You talking about you got $100K
Just from bonuses
in 6 months,
and he's
less
probably
than 6
making
months.
like, what do you think? Like 10 and 10, maybe.
Yeah, 10 and 10, 12 and 12.
Yeah.
Right.
So
for that fight. Just depends on, he was a contender series guy, so he's probably making a little bit more.
and maybe based off how well
Yeah.
he performed a contender series, and I mean he's already got 2 fights. Usually I know that they'll do like 3-fight contracts. And
Yeah.
his
So
first
UFC
2
used to do is 8-8.
Mm.
It used to be your start off pay. It was 8-8. But so it's probably definitely
In
more
recent
now.
years, they've gotten a lot of criticism over their fighter pay, so maybe they've upped it
Maybe
a little bit.
Maybe we can probably look it up and see. But he probably made close to $100,000 that night
Oh yeah,
after bonuses and everything.
Yeah.
So then taxes.
and paying coaches,
Taxes
and stuff like that.
and anytime. So the way the management works is if you make over a certain amount of money, you give a percentage. It depends on the percentage, right? It could be 10% or 20% based on how much you get paid. So if you get paid less, sometimes they'll only take 10%. If you get or 20%, then if you get paid more, then that's when they're going to just take a smaller cut out of that because it's being still a big piece of the pie. You get $50,000. You take 10% of that. That's $5,000 right there. You take 20%, that's 10,000. You're only getting 40,000. Then you're going to get taxed by like 30%, almost 28%,
Yeah.
somewhere around in there.
Yeah. So yeah, well that money goes quick, man.
It goes really quick, man. Yeah.
But so far, it would appear that he has all the makings to be a big star. Granted, he's not fighting, top caliber guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's just with the knockouts that he's had and the hype around him, it's going to make him money in other places.
Well,
His
they're
social
building him
media
up.
is growing.
They're building him up,
right.
man.
ESPN is posting them.
Yeah. They're building him up, and it's awesome, man. I mean, kid fought in conflict.
Yeah,
came
we've
up on
seen him. We were
conflict.
talking about that. We've seen him at a lot of the regional fights that we've been to.
Yeah.
They're cornering people.
Yeah.
I've even seen him at Derek Brunson's promotion.
Yeah, he's still around. Like they have a gym. It's called Fagler's. So Jason Fagler, his dad, they run Fagler MMA, Fagler's MMA or something like that. And they used to be like Fagler's Karate. But they've switched. They've kind of joined forces too with the Jiu-jitsu gym down there too. So like they can get the full aspects of every striking.
Right.
So
And it's a small gym too, right?
very small
Yeah. So I mean, this goes to show you don't have to be.
in Augusta.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. He's out of Augusta, Georgia. You don't have to be like with these, American top team. Like, granted, they have a lot of great talent there.
Yeah, he's probably going to eventually get to a point.
Where he
Francis
has to.
was.
Right.
That's where Francis got to a point where it's like, man, I need a push.
Yeah.
I need guys that are more UFC caliber to train with, But and then sometimes you fall out of the grassroots stuff that got you where you supposed to, and that's what happened to me. When I fell off of doing the hard work first. You know what I'm saying? Like I still did hard work, but I did it more fancy with a strength conditioning coach, and I didn't do as much. Like we would do like finishers sometimes, or I'd put on a gas mask and do a workout with a gas mask on, or I'd do these workouts that I come up myself where I'm going to physically try to exhaust myself today. So it'd be like 3 5-minute rounds where like one of them is a minute of burpees as fast as you can. And then another one, you're going into sprawls, or something else, right? Or sprints. Mm-hmm. Or we used to have a yoga ball and we had water in it. We call it a water ball, and you'd have to hold it and kind of pick it up and shake it around, and because it's slosh and trying to move you and so we do that for a minute, or we hold it for a minute and move it around, and squeeze it. And it would be, I mean, you'd be dead after, and then you get a minute break, right? And then you recover, boom, you go right into that second round of 5 minutes, and then you go to that third round of 5 minutes. So you a lot of fight simulation stuff, right?
Right.
And I used to just, when I went to a fight, I would grind out for fucking, when I started training with Kurt, I started fighting in Bellator, I wanted to be more professional looking, I guess you could say, and do what the professionals did, and do what you see on, like, Embedded and shit like that, right? Like what you see on their stuff. But it's like, I think that took away that grassroots kind of mentality of,
like the grind, kind of
grind,
like
having
grind.
to fight up from nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like we're nobodies and we're gonna fight to the top. And then you get to a bigger name known person. You know, Kurt Pellegrino back then, he just come out of the UFC. You know, he still had a really big name for him up there, especially in Jersey. You know, and like, you know, you want to. I don't know, man. It just, you know, you start training with wrestling coaches and boxing coaches and strength and conditioning coach. You have all these different coaches, you know, and then you have your MMA training, and you're training with some really good guys. And, you know, I don't know. It kind of, it's kind of like that 80-20 rule. You know, you got to train with 80% of people that you're better than.
Yeah.
You know, and then 20% of people that are better than you.
Right.
I think that has a lot of truth to it.
I do too. And so we talked about that a long time ago on the pod, and I started doing that in here, and I felt like I got better. Or maybe
maybe you're just beating up 80%. Like, damn, I'm hot, bro.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing about this place, and you know, martial arts. Well, I can't say all martial arts, but jiu-jitsu is
maybe that's why I've been feeling myself too here lately too, man. I've been rolling more, you know. I'm like, damn, let's go compete, you know. So I'm competing this weekend. And
are you gonna go do it?
Yeah.
Dang, yeah. I didn't know that you made the switch.
Man, yeah. Well, you know, we had when Jay-Z's fights off, so he's gonna corner the guys and Nick obviously, and then I'm gonna go compete.
Oh, word! And that's in Charlotte, right?
It's in Charlotte.
Nice.
Well, first time in almost 3 years, so it's like, you know, I'm feeling myself right now. It's like I feel good, and you know, my knees, obviously, I have a torn meniscus, torn rotator cuff. I've been rehabbing it. I've been really taking care of it. I've been strengthening it. I've been doing exercises. You know, I'm just doing all the right things. You know. Yeah. So.
Right on, man. Well, that's good. I'm excited for you, dude.
Yeah, I'm excited. I have to have at least, I'll probably have, if to get gold, be 3 matches, you know, and that's what I'm focusing on, 3 matches.
Right
3
on.
matches.
Do you have a game plan as far as like, because I know some people will go into a competition with like a routine they have in their head that they want to try to implement.
That's what I'm just going to go focus on, you know, doing me. And that's it. I'm not worrying about what that other guy is going to do. I'm just focusing on what I'm going to do. What I'm good at. So do you have
like a you know, off
game
the top
plan?
of your head, so if a match could go perfectly for you, what happens?
Oh man, it would just be
because you're not a pull guard kind of guy.
Well, actually, man, like in all my BJJF,
are you thinking about it now because
all my IBJJFs, I usually pull guard.
Really? Mm-hmm. I don't know why I thought that you would just be a stand up and kind of take them down.
So. Yes, that's the way I started, and it got me in trouble a little bit. You know, so.
Well, I mean, especially with the knee now, like I know that I don't have a meniscus in my right knee anymore, so a lot of times I'll just pull guard because my left has become my more dominant.
Well, I have a guard. You know, I have my half guard, right? Like it's pretty good, so I focused on that, and you know, I won my first match at Pan Am's against a really, really good black belt back in 2021, I think it was, last time I did Pans. Mm-hmm. And, you know, went on to the second round, but I had like a 4th degree black belt in that second round. And, you know, he had saw my match before, and he had a game plan for me pulling. And, you know, I still swept him with my half guard sweep, came up on top, defended, but I got swept and I got my back taken, and, you know, defended a choke twice before some things went wrong, and you know,
right.
But, And then I did Charlotte Open back in October of 23. Maybe it's been almost 3 years since I've last competed, and it's been comfortable.
Yeah.
It's been comfortable, man. I ain't had adrenaline or anything like that, but now the adrenaline's starting to take over. I get
like
a little
the pre-fight anxiety. Yeah.
I'm getting a little nervous. I still get nervous, like I got a lot of people that are looking up to me, man, hey, we're going to come watch you. I'm like, great.
Yeah, great.
Thanks.
Well, that's how people feel, especially even if it's like New Breed or Naga, with, performing in front of you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like the last thing that, and I can speak from experience. I mean, I've only competed once, but it's like you just don't want to let down, obviously your coach.
Dude, my first Bellator fight, and I had Kurt Pellegrino in my corner, and I had all these other dudes that it was my first fight with Kurt, and it was in Bellator.
Yeah.
Right, like, and I'm fighting a top dude too, and it was like afterwards I just said, I'm sorry, man. Fuck, I feel like a piece of shit, like and then it's just the way it goes sometimes, man.
So let's just say the match starts and you get to your half guard, right? Like immediately when you get to half guard, you're looking to sweep.
I'm immediately looking to sweep and off balance my opponent. I'm immediately looking to come up. I'm immediately looking to pass. I'm going to try to either get full mount or take your back. Back is where I want to be.
Right.
If I can get to your back, I'm going to beat you. I'm going to submit you.
What's your favorite choke from the back? I was about to say, yeah.
I get that's a high percentage move for me. Because there's a way I do it and there's a way I feed the lapel around. I have a systematic approach to it, and it's step by step, and I know that step by step, and I know that if they counter this, what do I do to that? So I know how to make my adjustments. Boom. Instead of me fumbling around for grips, I know exactly where my grips are supposed to go, how they're supposed to be. So it's systematic approach.
Yeah.
A lot of people, that's the problem with like blue and purples, and they don't have and browns. Like this hasn't been something that I've always done, right? Yes and no, but nowadays it's like when I roll with people, I get positions and I see how they're going to react. Before I go, I get positions and I just react from it, right? So now, as soon as I take the back, I know how he is going to react before he reacts, and then I immediately go for the kill or counter him countering my kill, and be patient with it because I know what I'm going to do is going to work. And there's a that's like so strong, when you have that in somebody. So it's like I feel now what I've never really felt before, and that's the confidence to go compete against other black belts.
Yeah.
Before, I've been a black belt for 10 years, man. It looks like when I'm a second-degree black belt, which basically says I've been doing jiu-jitsu for six years, right? Maybe 7.
As a black belt.
As a black belt, right? That's what second degree
Right.
much
It's
says.
every 3 years, right?
Yeah, it's every 3 years. But I've been doing it for 10 years, and the IBJJF didn't, because I registered after my first 4 years of being a black belt. So I've been a black belt going on 11 years in July. So it's like, I know jiu-jitsu, man. And it's taken 10 years as a black belt for me to know jiu-jitsu.
Well, not only you said it before, but, Tony, when we had Tony on the pod, and this is before he was a black belt, but it's, and he said it during his speech whenever you gave him his black belt, that, in a lot of ways is just the beginning. It's kind of like you're starting over, like for all the Call of Duty people out there, when you prestige in Call of Duty, you start all over.
Yeah, man, you lose your prestige.
Yeah. But yeah, so for you, it's,
or you compete against other prestige players and then you earn the top.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
10 years after just competing against prestige. So that's the thing. It's like, competing against black belts for, for a long time now.
What weight are you competing at?
195.
Really?
I'm walking around about 190 right now.
Really?
189.
Dang. So after the fights last Thursday, because you didn't think that you were going to be competing this weekend, you're like, I'm going to Cookout. I'm getting the Oreo shake. Did you do that?
I didn't.
Oh, you didn't?
Cookout was packed, but that's
I ended up going to
100%.
Cookout.
It was packed though.
Well, we go to a different one. I went to the one in Surfside.
Gotcha.
It was still packed, but it wasn't that bad.
And then I was like, man, I'll just go to Taco Bell.
Oh,
went down there, packed too. I was like, it wasn't meant to be. Turned around, went home, and ate food from home.
Oh, okay.
But so that's another thing. Is like I've been eating a lot from home. I've been eating a lot more, a lot of good meals. Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to keep my weight, bigger. I competed at 195 when I was a brown belt in New York Open, and had won my first match. Went to the finals, lost by 2 points in the finals to a Marcelo guy. And so it was that sucked, but that was completely different. That guy had a half guard game. I tried to go for an arm bar, and on him, and he swept me I just rushed things too much. Now it's way different. So I'm excited to see where I'm at. That's kind of what I want to see where I'm at. Too. I want to do Orlando in July. I want to do Orlando Open in July, which is right before Kids Pans. Mm. So I want to try to stay on it, and try to maybe do Pans next year.
Right on.
In March.
So you're competing at 190, right, or 195?
195. Yeah.
195.
So it's with the gi on and everything.
Right. Because you don't compete no gi.
Not really, man. I mean, I do here
but
and there.
But IBJJF, they don't do no gi.
They do. Yeah,
they do.
Yeah, but it's on Sunday, and there's nobody in my weight class or age group. Yeah.
Right on.
So I could go get a free gold medal and then do absolute, which I'd probably do well in. But I'm just like, absolute, you got to wait till the last part of the day, man. So it's like 5, 6 o'clock at night, and you're competing again after you know what I'm saying? Well, yeah, because you got to get there to get your gold medal, and get your points. Mm-hmm. And then you got to go wait for everybody from absolute to sign up for absolute. You might not even get anybody to sign up for absolute.
Right.
Get free gold medal and free points.
Yeah.
So what those points do, it helps you have a higher seed when you go into the.
So you get a better bracket.
Or you get a better seed, yeah.
Right.
So going into this, I don't know what I'm gonna be. I could be last seed.
So do you find out when you get there?
You find out tomorrow. I think brackets come out tomorrow.
Right on.
Yeah.
So do you ever look up your opponent? Because I know that you've kind of been, you kind of tell some of the fighters that you coach not to.
Yeah, so
it is hard not to.
It is hard. Well, you want to see, you just want to see.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do. I'll look up and see if they compete a lot, and that's about it. I don't watch any of their shit. I just see if they compete, And so I got 2 dudes that compete out of this division. But I've only looked up one person I got 5 people, 5 other guys in my division. I've only seen one of them because he's Brazilian. I'm like, who's this guy? Yeah. I don't know who he is, No. So I was like, so let me see who this guy is, because I went and competed in, I want to say it's Miami. And I got a 5-time world champion. 6-time Pan Am champion, all these different things. I didn't know who. I didn't look up nobody, dude. I just go in there, and I go against this dude. Find out he's ranked number 2 in the world, Yeah. But he only beat me by points, And he didn't. He was submitting everybody, And so he only beat me by points. And then I've had a couple matches with that guy. He's only beat me by points.
So this being IBJJF, you can watch this online, right?
No. Sometimes they'll put it on YouTube.
Oh, I thought they did
or
like flow grappling.
It's only the bigger tournaments.
Ah, got you. Well, dang, that sucks.
Yeah.
Because me and Rob were like, well, if D competes, we're gonna go watch. But then I made plans at church and
I wasn't gonna go, and then I was like, well, Jay-Z's not. They can go.
Yeah.
And
he got the 45-day suspension because of the cut over his eye.
And I was like, literally, I'm like, oh, that's this Saturday.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck, I'm supposed to compete this Saturday.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why didn't I put those two things together? And Megan's like, because you ain't got it on the calendar.
That's funny. So before we get out of here, real quick, so Jay did fight last Thursday. Not only did he fight, Adrian fought too.
We went 2-0.
Yeah.
Jackson was supposed to fight. His opponent didn't
found a way out.
He found a way out.
He found a way out.
So that didn't happen. This weekend we got Cooper's fighting and Tyler Burke are fighting, and just kickboxing at Conflict in Charleston. And then I'm competing in Charlotte. Ethan's competing in Charlotte, and so is Lucas. And then we got 2 kids competing on Sunday for Charlotte Open. And then following weekend we got Jack, and Skylar are fighting in Virginia. And that's like pro rules: elbows, knees to the head, all that stuff. Yeah. So
is Jack's first fight?
Jack's first fight. Yep. Skylar's second fight. So it'd be good.
So she's doing MMA.
Yep.
Right on. So did Jay break the guy's collarbone? Is that what happened?
I think that's what happened, but it's like, I mean, how do you know? Unless the X-ray.
True. Yeah, true.
He could have separated his shoulder, could have done.
You know what I thought was funny? Like, so
or just
obviously,
way out.
Jeremiah talks a lot of crap.
The Uno card.
Yeah, and the guy still had the Uno card in his arm.
It's like here.
Yeah, he couldn't move it, and he had it, and it just fell. It was like a Uno reverse card, and it fell. And I was like, why would you bring that into the cage when you just? Now I get why he quit. I mean, if you can't throw, and especially in a boxing match, like, all right, I don't really necessarily fault him for it, but I still fault him for bringing the Uno reverse card into the.
No,
into the
he
ring.
didn't bring that. Jay-Z grabbed it and threw it at him.
Oh, I didn't see that part.
Yeah. Jay-Z went out. So he was like,
dude.
Boom, and threw it at him. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That makes a whole lot more sense. Classic thing for Jeremiah to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get out of here, dude.
All right, guys. Appreciate you guys for locking in with us, sticking around with us. We appreciate you. We're gonna get back at it, get these things cranking. Please like, comment, share, subscribe with everybody, and until next time.
Yep. Until next time. Appreciate you.
Out.
Peace.